I should be looking at you or the camera?
Okay.
Okay, what do I love most when a new curation launches? So I guess I'm not sure if the question is about when an exhibition is first put up or about when we're sort of starting the planning. So maybe I'll kind of tackle both. So I guess when a new exhibition goes up, one of the things I love most is when I get to talk to gallery attendants and hear about conversations they've had with visitors, especially when maybe a visitor noticed something or saw something in artwork I didn't think about, or when they've learned something or were kind of challenged in their thinking, or when I get to have those conversations with visitors as well through our programs. But when we're sort of in the beginning stages of an exhibition, I really enjoy sort of that very initial stage of just research. So whether I'm working on a historical show where I'm getting to read books or go into the archive, or sort of discover where artworks are in different public and private collections, or if I'm working with contemporary artists, getting into their studio, seeing what they're working on, learning about the ideas they're thinking about and their influences, and then getting to dive deeper into those to be able to write about and interpret their work for the public. So I love that kind of initial stage when things are still unknown and very broad. You don't quite know what form the show is going to take yet. So I guess for me personally, I followed maybe a more formal or conventional path. I studied art history in university, and I was really fortunate to be able to do a practicum and an internship in different art galleries. But I think beyond some sort of prescriptive educational or experiential path, it's really about just immersing yourself in an arts community. So going to see art, reading about art, meeting artists and having conversations with them, and talking to other people about art. I think so much of curating is really just about building relationships and collaborating. And so I think kind of immersing yourself in a community and building those relationships is really key. Okay, so I manage the art collection here at the gallery, and someone asked about the oldest object we have. That would be a sandstone sculpture from central India, made in the 11th or 12th century. It is a representation of the Hindu god Shiva in his most ferocious form, the Bhairava. So Shiva is a god that is meant to destroy the universe in order to recreate it. So he is someone who represents many contradictions. And in the sculpture we have, he has 8 arms, and he's holding different attributes that represent him, such as a drum and a skull-topped staff. This sculpture, in its size and intricacy, indicates that it was most likely commissioned by royalty at the time. It's also one of the largest and heaviest sculptures we have in the collection. Okay, so my typical day at the gallery involves a lot of different tasks dealing with both the collection and with exhibitions. So I might come into the office and check on all our art storage vaults and deal with administrative tasks related to the collection. So processing new acquisitions, or dealing with loans, or answering public inquiries about our collection or about our exhibition history. And then also planning exhibitions, so researching, working on floor plans, writing labels, editing them, or actually being physically in the installation. And I'd say the majority of my work is in my office on my computer, and I often have several meetings working with all my colleagues across the gallery to bring exhibitions to fruition. Okay, who is my favorite artist? This is a question that I'm not going to answer because it's too difficult, but because I do manage the collection, I thought I could talk about a work that really fascinates me and has been top of mind because I had the opportunity recently to show it to a class of university students. So this is a photograph by an artist named Hugo Vuagar, and it's from 1914. So it's one of the oldest photographs we have in the collection. And its title is Irma and Him, and it is an autochrome. So an autochrome is an early color photo process that was patented in 1903 by the Lumiere brothers in France. And in really simplistic terms, it's made by coating a glass plate with microscopic grains of potato starch that are dyed in the primary colors. And Hugo Viogard was born in Germany, came to Canada around 1912, and he set up a photography studio on Jasper Ave in Edmonton. And he was one of the only people working in the autochrome process in North America, and the only one in our region of Western Canada. And this image is particularly beautiful. It's of his daughter, Irma, but if you look closely in the background, you'll see a kind of shadowy figure of a young boy named Him. That's her brother. And what's fascinating about this work is that the way it's made is still a mystery to us over 100 years later. The autochrome process didn't allow for a double exposure. So some experts think that Viogard was using mirrors. Others think that maybe there was an old image that wasn't washed off the plate, and so it showed up when he was taking this picture of his daughter. Okay, this is a difficult question. Which object would I use to explain humanity to aliens? Okay, I'm going to bring it back to the collection because that's always top of mind. So a work that we acquired just last year actually is by the artist Dean Drever. The work is called Pass the Hat, and it is a maquette, so a model for the larger finished work. So the maquette is only about 36 inches tall, and the final work is over 17 feet. Dean Drever is Haida, and he's from Edmonton, but he's now based in Toronto. And he has made several works out of stacked paper, and this is one of them. So through conversations with him, I learned that the work is, it's a totem pole. It takes the shape of a totem pole. And the top figure is a thunderbird, and it's meant to represent himself. And the bottom figure is a bear, and it represents his daughter. And in between is a space where the thunderbird is passing a watchman's hat to the bear. And so for Dean, it's about passing on sort of knowledge and lineage to his daughter, to the younger generation, as she watches over her own generation and he watches over her. So the work has personal and cultural symbolism, but I think its message related to relationships, to intergenerational knowledge and care is really a universal of all humans. And the other really fascinating thing about this work is that it has a commentary on technology and the way humans have adapted technology throughout time. So he's reconfiguring a traditional totem pole into paper and using advanced technologies to construct that. But he's also using paper, which is a very ancient form of material that humans have made.